Friday! Welcome on into Winning Bets today. That's right, it's the Friday episode here of Winning Bets. Guiding you on into the weekend. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me and appreciate you guys kicking off the weekend with me here. It's time to talk our sports and talk some sports betting as well. We've got Payoff pitch at the top of the hour, live at 11 a.m. Eastern time with myself and the Hockey Squirrel, ready to preview today's MLB slate. And go ahead and lick your lip, boys. This is a good-looking MLB slate. Good night to go ahead and put some money in our pocket and pay for that bar tab on this Friday night. Before we do that, though, let's make sure we, of course, recap what happened yesterday, and then we'll dive on into the action with the Hockey Squirrel there at 11 o'clock. So if we throw up that recap from yesterday, we get to go ahead and ring that cash register at plus 3.66 units yesterday. Can we hear that again? Let's get that Friday vibes, Friday mojo, plus 3.66 units. Oh, it was a Dominic team away from a sweep, and team was a dog. He was at plus 108, a very small dog at that, at plus 108. He just couldn't quite come through. But otherwise, Phil's on the money line. He came through at minus 120. Go ahead and pick up the straight set win, so love to see that right there. Roll that on into the MLB action. How about that NRFI in Game 1? Although the NRFI did hit in Game 2 as well, but we just targeted Game 1 with Lorenzen and Ohtani on the mound. Pretty much 6 up, 6 down, outside of a Tigers error that had one guy on the bases. It was about as sweat-free as you can get at NRFI, so love to see that right there. In Game 2, we had Sandoval under 17.5 outs and probably should have put the whole damn mortgage on that one right there. You just saw Game 1. Ohtani threw a complete game. They used no bullpen arms. And what did the Tigers do? Now, they didn't go into that game smoking left-handed pitching, right? We weren't on an F5 team total, or we weren't on the Tigers money line. But they hit it enough without striking out that they were going to make Sandoval work his ass off. This is an Angels team that just announced, we're not sellers, we're buyers. We think we can make a run at the playoffs. You knew as soon as Sandoval either ran his pitch count up, because that's what the Tigers have been doing lately, left-handers. Even though they haven't been able to get runs, they've been doing a good job of working the pitch count. They were going to do that, or the moment he ran into trouble, you knew they were going to go to that bullpen, because the bullpen was not used at Game 1, and they give it to us at 17.5 outs, and they give it to us at plus money. What the hell were the books thinking? And the books were so goddamn stupid on that one, they gave that line after Game 1. So after Ohtani throws the complete game, they see, and they hang you 17.5 outs. Dumb line. Love to see us take advantage of a good plus money cash. We also got over 9 runs in that Cubs and Cardinals game. That's just a little bit that we've been on lately. Remember the Cardinals-Marlins series 2 series ago, we were on the over. Remember when the White Sox were taking on the Cubs, we were on the over. Just been Guz. We were also on the over the series before the White Sox with the Cubs, with the Nationals. Both these teams have just been playing very good to hitting the over, and we got a good easy cash, 10-13, and even talked about it on Payoff Bits. Go ahead and take that Cubs money line. Like, if you're backing the Cardinals, you're backing the name. You're not backing the team that's on the actual field. You're just backing the names of the jerseys. I have no idea why you would bet the Cardinals yesterday, but that's how she goes, and some people did that right there. And then what about our last cash? Staying in that same game, we had Mike Colas under 18.5 outs. He pitched 2 outs in that game. If you didn't see what happened to him, really, really strange. I've never seen anything like it, and I really don't know what Mike Colas was thinking. Ian Happ on his backswing ends up hitting the catcher in his mask. Wilson Contreras draws a little bit of blood. He has to exit the game. Mike Colas thinks he does that on purpose? Like, you think he can hit a guy on his backswing, no look? You think you can do that shit on purpose? I could do that shit if I was trying. Mike Colas takes offense to it, misses him with the high fastball, and then goes right back in and drills him in the middle of his back. I have no idea. He gets tossed. That felt good, though. We've been on a lot of screwings, right? Last batter, K, or just like some really just tough beats. It felt good to like get an easy free win. We, of course, parlayed that with Rue, though, which was not anything but free. He lost the first set to Garin, battled back, picks up the last 2 sets, and goes ahead and completes that victory. So just an outstanding day at 5-1 and plus 3.66 units. Hit that like button if you were part of that cash. Hit that like button if you were part of that cash and going plus 3.66 units. Also, let me know, of those 5 cashes, which one did you guys enjoy most? Was it Phil's just out there absolutely dominating? What about that Mike Colas situation? Was it the over and the Cubs, Cardinals? Sandoval under 17.5 ounces. I still don't get that. I used that on TikTok to streak to $85,000. What a no-brainer play that was. Love to see that right there. Gaining momentum, picking up steam, heading into Friday, heading into the weekend. Money-making weekend, that is, right there. Let's jump in that comment section, see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll go ahead and just get ready for the payoff pitch at the top of the hour. And I've got more bets than innings. Oh, yeah, it's one of those days in the MLB, guys. One of those days we love. It's kind of like why we like betting the MLB, just because of the volume. You can always generally find a few good spots. I mean, I know some, handicappers just from Twitter yesterday were like, oh, there are no good spots yesterday in the MLB. Going to go ahead and lay off a bad MLB slate. What bad about that shit? The Cubs and Cardinals been smacking overs left and right. You can't take off any days in the MLB. You can always find value, and I think we've done that today, and I look forward to helping you guys put some money in your pocket. Good morning, Brian. Hope you're doing well. It is going to be a great Friday, and it's money-making weekend, baby. Yes, Brian. Let's go. Let's go. What are you doing in Richmond this weekend in terms of the race, Brian? You got Kevin Harvick. I know you had Kevin Harvick last week as a long shot. He obviously won in Richmond last year in the fall race. I actually had won 2 races in a row. The second one was at Richmond. Kevin Harvick could be a nice little play this week, Brian. Could be a good little play. Let me know. Let me know. We also do not have a UFC pick this week. And remember, we were, feeling you guys out, so to speak, where if you guys felt confident to play in any sport, let me know. We'll make it an official play, provide some analysis. We've been doing that with USC. We're 3-1 in betting the UFC. All the plays have come from Tyler. But, again, it's open to everybody. We've got soccer coming up. Maybe you're sitting back waiting for soccer. Maybe you're like a soccer guru over there. That's cool. Just keep in mind, we are trying to add 1 play a week. It's the people's play. You feel confident about it. I add it to the card, and we all can enjoy the cash together. So keep that in mind. Let me know if there's ever a play you love. Just drop it on over to me on Twitter. Give me the play and a little bit of justification, and we'll add it to the card. We'll try and do that 1 time a week. All right, we're just sitting back waiting for the payoff pitch now. Guys, I got bets, fellas, bets for days. Let me know, what is your best bet, fellas? What's your best bet on today's MLB slate? We've even got some spots where you can't even bet it. Cubs haven't announced a starter, but they're going up against Jordan Montgomery. They just rocked his ass 5 days ago. That Cardinals bullpen we talked about yesterday and justifying that over 9. That Cardinals bullpen is god-awful. It's either the over today or Cubs team total, one of the two. But you're going to bet one of those two because it's great numbers for the Cubs taking on Montgomery. Add that with the Cardinals bullpen. Again, Cardinals offense has regressed a little bit, so it does matter who the Cubs want to throw today in terms of doing a full game over or just backing the Cubs from a team total perspective. So we are waiting on that little bit of piece of information. And we're still waiting for a line in the Athletics-Rockies game. We've got rumored to be J.P. Sears going up against Kyle Freeland. If it's lefty on lefty at Coors, take the over. But we need confirmation that we're going to go ahead and get J.P. Sears before we can pull the trigger on any bet like that. Oh, nice. Harvick was doing a little racing. Nice. That's cool. What circuit is that? SRX or what is that? Nice. That's cool though, man. You were down there? Did you get a chance to see him out? Pretty cool, Brian. I'm pulling up my bets now, boys. Pulling them up. I'm looking at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bets with the possibility of adding the Rockies. And the reason we want to add the Rockies, and we'll, of course, talk about this on the payoff pitch, but if you get J.P. Sears, the Rockies are hitting .312 versus left-handers. They're slugging .548. Their weighted runs created is 135. They are striking out a ton at 31.4%, which, is not ideal. But at least when they're hitting the ball, they're getting hits and they're doing damage because of great slugging at .548. So I'll be looking at an F5 team total. with the Rockies today up against J.P. Sears if we get J.P. Sears. You could maybe do a full game over because the Athletics aren't terrible versus left-handers. They hit 259. 258. Their weighted runs created is 111, and they don't strike out at 19.2%. So maybe you could do like an F5 over or maybe a full game over. Just really need confirmation on these starters, but it's going to be hard to avoid at least the Rockies, staying away from the Rockies if you get J.P. Sears. I think if you get confirmation on that. So hopefully we can get confirmation on that during the payoff pitch and we can make that decision together while doing the payoff pitch. And then hopefully we get confirmation too on the Cubs starters so we can pull a trigger on, again, whether that's a team total or a full game over in that game as well. So we'll just kind of we'll just kind of sit back and see. But I'm thoroughly excited. I can't wait to preview today's slate. Break it on down with you guys. Excuse me. The gym. What's up, dog? What's up, the gym? Morning, my man. Morning. It was rowdy and just watched it from the curb. It's just too hot. It was pretty hot. We've actually, this week is the first week we've been in 90s with like the heat index touching 100. Otherwise, this summer has just been fantastic in Chicago. I mean, 70, 80s every day. Very, very comfortable to be outside. This week has gotten up there in the temperatures, like I said, about mid-90s. So I hear you on that. And I know that Virginia heat, you know, having lived, what was it, 20-some years, you know, in Richmond, that Southeast heat, Brian, I hear you, man. That gets ramping it up right there. Maybe another great day for a NRFI. I bet my NRFI of the day, Brian. I'll give it to you right now. Tigers Marlins minus 122 over on FanDuel. Minus 122 Tigers Marlins NRFI of the day. Yeah, I bet it, Brian. It's on the card. Go ahead and snag it up, man. Tigers Marlins minus 122 over on FanDuel. Minus 122, best NRFI of the day. Tigers Marlins. Let's get it, Brian. I'm on board with that NRFI. I'm on board with that. What are you guys thinking of the soccer transfer window going on? First of all, preview show next Thursday with Matt on August 3rd. Preview show next Thursday, August 3rd with Matt. Look forward to doing that. We're hooking up for our third or fourth straight Premier League season, previewing each and every single match week. And just like last year, doing a season-long preview. It's crazy the number of players that are going to Saudi. Crazy. And not only the number of players, like the quality of players that are going over there. Really quite remarkable. Surprising, something I was not surprising. So, yeah, overall, though, transfers are going to start whittling down because, yeah, I would say in the next 10 days, you're going to get a lot of movement, and then it's going to slow down because the deeper you get in the window, the time to replace a player that you may sell is obviously that much harder, and, you know, because the window is that much shorter at that period. So I would say next 10 days, you'll see some movement. Will Man United be able to get their striker? Will Harry Kane move on to Bayern? They're having talks with Daniel Levy scheduled for Monday, apparently. It was scheduled today. It got rescheduled for Monday. Harry Kane maybe possibly moving over to the Bundesliga. He goes to the Bundesliga. He'll smash that league. I mean, this is a guy that, you know, if Holland wasn't even the Premier League, he'd have won the Golden Boot again this past season. He goes over to the Bundesliga, he'll rack up 30-plus goals over there. And especially with playing in Bayern, with just how fluid and attacking Bayern is, I can't wait. On my way over there, let's get it. Tigers Marlins NRFI of the day. Tigers Marlins NRFI of the day. Minus 122. Let's get it, Brian. All right, fellas. I'm gonna go step aside, find ourselves a Hockey Squirrel. Come on back at the top of the hour at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and myself and Hockey Squirrel will be previewing that MLB slate. Nebraska, what's up, dog? What's up, man? Yes, sir. 3.66 units yesterday. Going to keep it rolling on into this weekend. Don't plan on stopping. Picked up a good day yesterday. Felt like that day was coming. Felt good to get it. Would have felt a little bit better to pull off that sweep, but that's how she goes sometimes. But I think we're going to get it today. So many good bets on today's card. I mean, just a lot of bets, a lot of great bets on today's card. So can't wait, fellas, to talk about it. All right, I'm going to go get ourselves a squirrel, see what his thoughts are. Hang tight, fellas. I'll be back. Hey there, everybody. Welcome on into the Friday episode here of the Payoff Pitch. We're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, previewing today's MLB slate with Hockey Squirrel. I'm, of course, Jason, powered by Bet Openly. Hop on over to Bet Openly where you win more and lose less with Bet Openly. Good to see you, Squirrel. Missed you yesterday. Excited to preview today's MLB slate with you. Morning, man.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Feel like I'm a little bit behind. I have all the projections done and everything. I was just kind of looking over things. Might be doing things a little bit live when we get to the prop section, but I'll do my best to fill out the innings here and see what we can find on Friday.
Okay, cool. I look forward to, like I said, getting your thoughts on today's slate. I thought it was a good slate. I don't know what your initial reactions were when you dove into the handicap, and I'll say you're 30 minutes into it. What were some of your initial thoughts? You think it was a good one?
Glad to see more than 4 games, I suppose. Yeah. There were some things that were easier than others. I struggled for some reason so far anyway to find a dog. I do have quite a few money lines, but they're all favorites. So, I'm on quite a bit of WNBA today as well, but I don't believe there's much left that hasn't moved. Took a lot of stuff, a lot of NBA or WNBA lines last night. So some of those I'm beaten by almost a full basket on the spread there.
Love that. All right, Squirrel, let's see what you're thinking about. Let's jump on into it. We call it Around the Bases. We'll take a couple games and break them down for you. Let's see what Squirrel wants to kick it off with here in Around the Bases.
Yeah, I told you I'm on a bunch of money lines and whatnot. I think the one thing I really like, especially now at this minus 120 price, which is kind of strange that it has come down. It opened minus 130, was the Seattle Mariners with Logan Gilbert. I just kind of started noticing, when I was looking at the bullpens, I started with Logan Gilbert, and I see that he edges out Tommy Henry. With the incredibly good whip and low ERA ratings. Not that Tommy Henry's particularly horribly bad or anything. It's just he does get edged out by Logan Gilbert. So then I started diving into the overall bullpens. And in recent form, the Diamondbacks have given up the most runs. They actually are the worst in terms of giving up runs right now in the last 14-day stretch, and they haven't been super fantastic for the last 30. So I think there's enough of an edge there, even though I do know Diamondbacks tend to hit pretty well. I haven't looked, I don't think super recently here. Actually, Seattle's been doing better in that category too in the last month. In terms of bringing in runs. So I think the 120 is certainly warranted there, and I took that, the Mariners on the money line. So I'll kick my dad off with that.
Okay, let's stay with that game for a second. You got the over or the under? And your projections?
Neither particularly.
Okay.
Let me take a look. I didn't bet either way.
See what you got.
Where am I at? Dude, I have so many tabs open. I believe over 9.
Over 9. All right, we're in agreement. I gave out yesterday over 9.5. Obviously, the market disagrees with me a touch, but when you're talking half a run, that's not a big discrepancy. Maybe if it drops down to 8.5, okay, but you guys know with me, I don't generally care what people do with their cash. I'm confident in what I'm doing over here. I'm going with over 9.5, as I tweeted out yesterday, minus 105. Squirrel mentioned the Mariners offense. Yeah, it's above league average. The only thing that they're doing that's bad is they strike out a lot at 30%. So maybe you could look at Tommy Henry K's. They're giving you plus money for him to go over. But otherwise, they're hitting good. They've got slugging, as the Squirrel mentioned. And the Diamondbacks are hitting right now. They're in the top 10 right now versus right-handers. They're doing it all well. Great strikeout percentage at under 20%. The average is there. The slugging, the weighted runs created is all there from both of these offenses. Both of these bullpens are in the bottom 10. And in fact, the Diamondbacks actually rank in the bottom 5 in their bullpen. They've got some really disgusting numbers coming out of that bullpen lately in the last 10 days. And then you do get to the starters. Logan Gilbert, as you mentioned, going on against Tommy Henry. I just like the way these offenses are going right now. Sure, Logan Henry can have a good quality MLB start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and we can still get to the over with how bad these offenses, or with how bad the bullpens are, and with how good the offenses are. So I'm going to take over 9.5 in that same game. And if I had to pick a winner, of course, I would be with you, because the Diamondbacks bullpen is that really bad right now. So yeah, I'll go Mariners and over 9.5, but I'm only betting the over. What's another game for you, Squirrel?
Cool. I was kind of looking at props. Let's see, you caught me. I think there's going to be some good stuff when we get to props though as
Oh,
well.
yes.
Just taking a look. Let me see here. What do I have? I have Logan Webb at home with the Giants tonight as the late game on a Friday night. So that might be kind of fun to watch that matchup with Cutter Crawford and Logan Webb, who's pitched basically almost double the amount of innings that Cutter Crawford has, even though Cutter Crawford has great numbers after 71 innings. The same exact numbers pretty much exist for Logan Webb after 134 innings. So you're getting a starter that, like you have to pretty much project out, would Cutter Crawford's numbers stay the way that they are 70 innings from now, pretty much, or 60, 65 innings from now. I mean, that's pretty incredible to go the 130 something that Logan Webb has. And we know that he kind of has that thing for pitching at home, and it hasn't seemed to happen for quite a while, or at least not that I've noticed that Logan Webb has pitched at home, because that's something I generally take note of. Let's see. I think Boston was really low on giving up runs. So the bullpen, I think, has been really good though for Boston. So perhaps it would lead you to wanting to take an under, because I don't know if I necessarily trust either offense in terms of crushing the ball. So I ended up on the Giants for the money line, but I think the under wouldn't be a bad look either, in my opinion.
Okay, what the Giants is probably what, like minus 120 or so, minus 130 maybe.
130, I think it was. Yes. Yep.
Not bad. Okay, I've got. Let's get your thoughts on Pirates Phillies. I can't quite pull the trigger on this one. Maybe I will by the end of the show, and when we get to the closer there, where we reveal our official bets, maybe it will be an official bet. Under is what I like in this Phillies Pirates. Maybe just from the F5 perspective. Both of these offenses are bottom five versus right-handers. One hits 209, the other one hits 206. Neither team are bringing any power to the plate. Their weighted runs created is 55 for the Phillies and 102 for the Pirates. The reason I would avoid maybe the full game under is because both of these offenses are really good versus left-handers, and we don't know what's going to come out of the bullpen. But we can project, obviously, two right-handed starters going up against two offenses that are struggling versus right-handers. It's Zach Wheeler taking on Mitch Keller. I'm okay with that. Wheeler's got some good numbers against this Pirates team. Keller scares me up against the Phillies team, and we'll get to it and keep swinging. It's the part that we're going to get to and keep swinging that is getting me off of betting this F5 under 4.5. Where did you fall on Phillies Pirates?
Unfortunately, the over 8, I think it was, and then it went to 8.5.
Okay.
But yeah, it's purely for data for me. It's not really, opinion based or anything like that. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the market certainly moved up from the opener of 8 to 8.5. So that's where it resides at the moment. But I'm on the other side of it.
Okay, cool. Let's shut up now. Let's shut up and pitch, actually. We would like to give you guys some pitching props. I am loaded with pitching props today. Let's find out how many the Squirrels got. We'll go back and forth.
Well, I have 0 at the moment, but let's definitely talk about some of these. I'm going to kind of do this live and maybe walk through a little bit of my process of how I go about it.
Cool.
Usually, I start off with obviously all my data, get all the projections for the pitchers, then go through, look at the lines, and see what my discrepancy is between the line and the juice that I have to pay to take it, and then does it make sense against the opponent that they're going against today, right? So I would start then with, okay, so we said the Phillies and Pirates. This would help your under possibly then. I'm looking at Mitch Keller. I'm expecting almost 6.5 strikeouts, like 6.3. And we can go over 5.5 at plus money. So this to me is a fantastic play. In terms of projection compared to the line. So that discrepancy there, I would then want to look at the Phillies strikeout rate, which I don't know off the top of my head. So unless you know what it is, I will take a look at it because I have it right here. Phillies 23.4, roughly 23.5. So that puts them 12th in the last month. So it makes sense. Then I guess I would look at the game log of Mitch Keller, right? And everybody wants to know what's the cash rate of this play. How often does he go over 5.5 strikeouts, especially when I have almost 6.5? So last game against the Angels, 7, then 1 strikeout in 6 innings against Cleveland. I
That's Cleveland. You
think
throw
they
that
have a
out.
right. Don't they have the lowest, strikeout rate, or one of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, then Arizona, he had 4. Dodgers, he had 7. 5-5, 7-7. Uh, One against Oakland, that was back in June 6th. Um, Tore it up in the month of May. I mean, how far back do you want to go? But 8 strikeouts, 8, 8, 13, 8, 8. So capable of it, however. So does it make sense? Yeah, sure. I certainly think so. He's not a left-hander. You just got done telling me that Phillies have great numbers against left-handers, but he's a righty. So I would say it makes sense to go over 5.5 when I have that projection at plus money, especially. So I don't know if you like it or not, but that's what the numbers would suggest for that game.
Mitch Keller, friend of the program. Love it. Everybody loves themselves a Mitch Keller prop on this show. Okay, over 5.5 Ks plus money. I'm going to do Dane Dunning over 16.5 outs for the Texas Rangers. Dane Dunning over 16.5 outs, minus 106.
That was my next one for strikeouts, actually.
Minus 106 over on Bet Rivers. Hit missed in his last start, but before that last start, hit a hit in his previous 6 starts. And he hit against the Rays. He hit against the Red Sox. He hit against the Blue Jays. So in that 6-game stretch, he's just not picking on bad teams in the MLB. Those are 3 offenses that we've liked majority of the season. In fact, he's had 14 starts this season. He's gone over in 10 of those 14 starts. And now he gets the Padres team, which, this is a classic, we're taking the Cardinals, we're taking the Padres. You are not betting on the stats if you're backing the Padres and Cardinals this season. The Padres offense is below average, hitting 236. No power to the plate at 358 is their slugging percentage. The only thing they do is avoid the strikeout at 17.1%. Great, don't strike out. Keep his pitch count low and ground out, like you always do, because your average sucks. I'll take Dane Dunning over 16.5. Way too good of a hit rate at minus 106. So sign me up, and love how it pairs up here with the Padres offense. I'm not scared of the name of the Padres. I've got other ones. You want to go back and forth?
Yeah, sure. I was looking at Dane Dunning. The projection then would actually be over 3.5 strikeouts. I have closer to 4.5, or right about there. So there's that, I guess. I don't know if it really makes sense then with the low strikeout rate of the Padres and everything. You certainly don't have to like it or bet it. Best line, it seems, would be points bet, obviously. So enjoy getting your $2.99 down. At minus 115. Otherwise, DraftKings, BetMGM has these things as well. So Dane Dunning over 3.5 in terms of numbers looks okay.
All right, let's go Dane Dunning. I want to go ahead and do another one here. What about Kevin Gausman over 7.5 strikeouts? What did we talk about yesterday? I'd say take the over on Lorenzen. I'd say take the over on Matt Manning if you get a line. Both of those guys went over against the Angels yesterday. Yeah, no kidding. The Angels' K percentage is at 28.9%. They're only hitting 237. So Gausman, if Lorenzen and Manning go over, those are not strikeout pitchers. Gausman should just cruise through this lineup. He's gone over in 10 of 20 starts. He has had 4 misses on the hook, so maybe you want to move it down to 7 or more. Maybe find a parlay piece, and you can find a parlay piece in Zach Wheeler. You can get him to over 6 strikeouts. It's a great parlay piece taking on the Pirates team. Can hit right-handers, striking out at over 27%. In his last start, he got the Guardians to strike out 8 times. That's pretty damn impressive. I think you could do a parlay of maybe adjusting both of them. Maybe do Gausman 7+ and Wheeler 6+, and get you a good parlay at around minus 110. So I like those guys. Let me give you guys another one. I also like Bobby Miller here of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Bobby Miller here of the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Cincinnati Reds team that, while they've cooled off a little bit of right-handers, they're still avoiding the strikeout at 23.5%. So love everything about that. He stayed under in 7 of his 10 starts so far this season. Has Bobby Miller. You're asking me to pay minus 116. I like everything about this one as well. So I'll be on Bobby Miller under 6.5 strikeouts today for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And do I have another one? 1, 2. Oh, yeah, I got another one, but it's for another inning. You got any more there, Squirrel?
Yes, one that I think is really nice, actually, that I would pay the juice for in a heartbeat. Probably a guy that's flown under the radar all season. at least in terms of props or whatnot. Not somebody you'd think of as an excellent pitcher, but J.P. Sears of the Oakland Athletics. They'll be playing a high strikeout Colorado Rockies team at over 26%. Makes a hell of a lot of sense when you look at his game logs. He's capable of 7.58, 7.56. It's done really well. So you pay a little bit of juice at the minus 140 or minus 145 price point, but you're getting such a high strikeout team and an opponent that it makes a lot of sense to take the over 4.5 strikeouts today for J.P. Sears in Colorado.
JP Sears in Colorado. Just to expand on that, I think we handicap a touch different just to really boost that play up even more. The last 10 days, the Rockies are striking out 31.4%. So I love that play right there, JP Sears. I think I saw it was like minus 170, so juicy as hell. But he should certainly get to it, and I think it's a good parlay piece. I want to back up here for a second and go back to Bobby Miller under 6.5 Ks. I realized when I gave off those numbers, I was on the left-handed tab and not the right-handed tab. Bobby Miller's a right-hander. The other reason I kind of like this is, again, the Reds do have a low strikeout percentage at 23%, but they've got good numbers at hitting right-handers at a 268 average, slugging 485 with the weighted runs created at 109. So a chance to also chase Bobby Miller. This isn't a game where he's going to go 6 innings, not against this Reds offense, clicking right now for his right-handers. So expect them to maybe even possibly knock him out a little bit early in this game. Yeah, really like under 6.5 there with Bobby Miller today. That is all my pitching props that I had for today. I guess let's move over to now to long shots, where we like to identify some dogs on the board every day that can cash plus money bets. What do you have today as a dog? I think you said it was a rough day. Maybe you don't have one?
As I said, I don't really have any plus money that I've actually got my money down on, but I was kind of poking around with some numbers in this Kansas City Royals game with going against the Twins, and I was just wanting to see, how bad is Brady Singer, I guess, against Sonny Gray, or, what do the current numbers look like for the Royals, and is this possible to pull off? And I didn't really make it super terribly far in this game yet, but it was one thing that just kind of like, are the Twins worth minus 160 today? Might be a bit much, just a touch too much. Just from kind of general overview, but it's not something I made it super far into yet. Otherwise, these plus 200s, I don't know. Williamson's pretty bad, though, too, for the Reds, isn't he? If I can remember.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Really bad.
Not a day to take the Reds.
Why is... Okay, the Athletics are plus money. Line's not out everywhere yet, but for what I do see, it's, the plus 110 to 115 mark, roughly, somewhere in there. Some 105s to 115, actually. I can grab it as high as plus 116. That might actually be a steal right now to take the Athletics with J.P. Sears and that kind of that prop we just looked at, right? So if you're expecting a lot of strikeouts and the Rockies don't do very well, in terms of making contact, obviously, if they're striking out that much. If J.P. Sears is a right-handed pitcher, this is even better. With the Rockies at home, you don't. So that sucks a little bit. That sucks a little bit then to have the Rockies.
I would say that sucks more than a little bit because the Rockies are hitting 312 versus left-handers and they're slugging 548. I would say it sucks a lot of it. He's a left-hander. He should get fucking crushed, to be quite honest.
Well then, shit. This is what I'm trying to tell you, Jason. Tough day for some plus money. I'm trying over here.
We love the honesty, and if you can't force it, you can't force it. It's all good.
Oh no, you can force it. You can force it.
All right. Well, you don't have any, but I've got two that I was willing to bet. So I'll go ahead and talk about these. We're gonna go nightcap. We're gonna go head to head on this one because I like the Red Sox. I can't ignore the hitting advantage. I mean, I'm hitting 278. The Giants are hitting 225. My weighted runs created is 120. Giants is 103. I'm slugging 464. They're only slugging 428. I strike out less at 22%. They strike out more at 26%. I move it over to the bullpen, and my advantages still stay there. My ERA is 1.22. Giants is 3.86. My whip is 1.9. Your whip is 3.16. Opponent's batting average 254. Giants is 267. I do it all better. I do it all better at the plate from a hitting perspective, and my bullpen's a lot better than the Giants. Now we got to look at the starter. It's Crawford up against Logan Webb. I got to tip your cap to Logan Webb, and even give him a little extra tip because he is at home where his splits are drastically better at home. But I've seen Logan Webb has the Red Sox. There's a few batters that have seen him. Nobody has seen Cutter Crawford. So love that right there. I can't ignore the hitting and bullpen advantages. Been on the Red Sox a little bit here lately. Going to go back to them again today at plus 125, taking on the Giants. The other team I want to go ahead and back today is kind of the same scenario with the Red Sox of better offense, better bullpen. I'm going to do that today with the Rangers. Much better offense than the Padres. And the bullpen numbers, I don't get the big advantage like the Red Sox do. I only get a slight advantage, but I had off day yesterday. All my good arms are rested. The bullpen numbers have gotten better since Aroldis Chapman came over from Kansas City. I'm going to be on the Rangers today at plus 146, taking on the Padres. I see Dane Dunning can equal Musgrove, and then I'll take the better offense and the better bullpen, just like the Red Sox. So Red Sox plus 125, Rangers plus 146. Those are two dogs today that I expect to cash. We do our dogs a little bit different. You're a little bit more value-based. I bet dogs that I full-on expect to win the game. Red Sox, Rangers, both walking away with victories today. Fifth inning, we call it Keep Swinging. We like to give away some hitting props every single day. I've got a few of those as well, but we'll let Squirrel go first.
This is my WNBA inning all the time.
Good. We got a comment in there from Daryl. Daryl wants that WNBA.
Yeah, I saw that. So I'm on the other side of one of his things. He says, question for the Hockey Squirrel, WNBA, Chicago Sky under. Doesn't give a line, but I assume it's probably 162 or 161 and a half. I'm on over 161, so I would disagree there. Then he asks a bunch of stuff about MLB, which I think we've covered most of that. So
if not, rapid fire.
My plays that I have, as I told you, some of my games are no longer bettable because I'm already beating them by like a basket or better. Mm-hmm. So see if we can do this. The Chicago Sky minus 4.5 is what I got. I don't know if there are any just regular 4s available. I know these kind of swing around, and depends on your book and all these kinds of things, but line seems to be settling in around minus 4.5. So Chicago Sky minus 4.5 tonight at 7 p.m. If you want to get a little bit risky, the Minnesota Lynx plus 14.5 in WNBA. This is available at FanDuel and I believe DraftKings as well. If you're wanting that, and Caesars has it. So really across the board there for the retail books, plus 14.5 for the Minnesota Lynx. Liberty's pretty high powered offense.
You just analyze the WNBA.
Yeah.
I love it.
The top two teams really, that I could think of are the Las Vegas Aces, which pretty much put up scores of men's basketball games. That's ridiculous. So, if I've sat there and taken unders. This is the only reason I know this is because I've taken unders on the Liberty games and the Aces games, and they fly over like crazy because I think the women are on steroids or something. Dude, that's ridiculous. Some of these teams. So, anyway, high-powered offense from the Liberty and the Aces. That's all you need to really know about WNBA. Otherwise, it's kind of you're just pulling your hair out trying to get baskets from these other teams. But hey, there you are. So Lynx plus 14.5. The most confident play though is the Chicago Sky minus 4.5.
Chicago Sky minus 4.5. Thank you for those WNBA plays. Love cashing WNBA with you. I've got some hitting props. Let's do Byron Buxton, who's 7 for 13 up against Brady Singer. 1K, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and you get the advantage of getting the Royals bullpen. If you hadn't hit Singer, come along for that Royals bullpen. So Byron Buxton is a good play. He comes off the paternity list, so he hasn't been playing. Comes back into action today up against a pitcher that he really knows. Maybe hits a bomb for the new kid. I don't know if he had a son or a daughter, but maybe he can go yard. So love that right there. What about Alexander Bogaerts? He's 5 for 9 up against Dane Dunning, a double, a home run, and 1K, like him. Also like Trey Mancini, he's 12 for 35 up against Jordan Montgomery. The catcher, Yan Gomes, he's 7 for 17 up against Jordan Montgomery. So those are a couple Cubs that I like today up against Jordan Montgomery. And then let's get back to the reason why we can't quite pull the trigger on that Phillies Pirates F5 under 4.5. This is the reason why we can't quite pull the trigger. Castellanos hits 292 off Mitch Keller. Schwarber hitting 625. Realmuto is hitting 625. Harper and Turner both hit 667. I mean, these offenses are struggling. I would normally throw all my cash at an under. But boy, if hitter familiarity shows up, the Pirates or the Phillies could absolutely crush Mitch Keller with their top guys all having great success off of Mitch Keller. So that's what gets me off of the F5 under at the end of the day. So there you go. Those are guys that can get damaged at the plate. We call it sixth inning. We call it it's a steal. I'm about to give you my nerf of the day, but let's hear what Squirrel's got first.
Yeah, it's a steal. Jeez.
It's a steal.
Oh God.
Did you see, speaking of which, did you see, and it's a steal, Noah Syndergaard may be back in the majors soon. He got traded to the Cleveland Guardians this week, and they're maybe going to work him up in the rotation. I don't know why they would do something like that, but maybe Syndergaard. Speaking of stealing.
I don't know if this is like a steal per se, but I do like this bet. Game we haven't talked about at least as well. So the Yankees and the Orioles, I like the under 8.5. Do you have an opinion on it? Because you have Garrett Cole and you have Grayson Rodriguez today.
Worst batting average in Major League Baseball goes to those Baltimore Orioles at 191 versus right-handers. I bag on the Yankees, like who the hell's betting on the Yankees? Garrett Cole is 9-2 and the Orioles suck. This is a spot where you could take the Yankees and I would say feel pretty comfortable. Yankees aren't crushing right-handers, but Grayson Rodriguez is really bad. They're hitting 226. Yankees bullpen set up. Garrett Cole. I think take the Yankees, but I would probably be on the under to answer your question. You're getting the Yankees at minus 125 with Garrett Cole and the Orioles team that is struggling, hitting 191. I would take the Yankees money line today and feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah, I like the under anyway from just data standpoint, but that's where I'm at is under 8.5. So I'll call it a steal just because of who the pitcher is and what the batting is. Like
it. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees are still struggling. They only hit 226. Still struggling, quite frankly. People had that series penned as like a big series. I just don't have the Yankees clawing back into the title or the playoff race. Just their offense is just not good enough, simply put. And they only have one starter.
Well, and Judge has been out for half the season, so I don't think that really helps them.
No, it certainly doesn't help. Certainly doesn't help. I still don't understand what the Angels are doing. They're no longer sellers. They're now buyers. Like, if Ohtani doesn't re-sign with them, that's the biggest mistake in their franchise history, not cashing in and getting all the talent.
Whoa, hold on. So, Aaron Judge is back today.
Oh, there you go. Judge is back. Get on the Yankees minus 125, then you know that offense will wake back up with Aaron Judge in the lineup. Minus 125.
What the hell are we doing? That's a steal. That is the steal.
That's the steal, the money line. You sure Judge is back? I didn't.
I mean, official Aaron Judge is back 1 hour ago. This guy says Aaron Judge is back. Cole's on the mound today. Can it get much better? See you at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, in honor of Aaron Judge returning. Yep, it seems Twitter's all going crazy about it.
Yeah, he's on track to be activated from the 10-day injury.
You would kind of think that the line would have reacted to something like that, though. Let's see. I want to know.
You do got to give the Orioles credit, right? There's a reason why they're sitting up in first place. I mean, they've been a good team. I just think they're going to struggle today up against Cole, obviously.
Aaron Judge probable from a toe injury. That's what it's been this whole time. It's a toe. Mm-hmm. Wow.
True. Toe injury.
Seems pretty good to me, dude. I don't know. I think Yankees money line. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, minus 125. Yeah, hop on that. I've got to go ahead and give you guys my nerf of the day. It involves one team that we've picked on a lot this season in the Marlins, and a team that we've occasionally faded this season, but we also faded them yesterday in cashing and nerfing the Tigers. Well, they're penned up today in a 3-game series. Tigers, Marlins, nerfy, minus 122. Tigers, Marlins, nerfy. Marlins are dead last. There's a reason why we've been picking on the Marlins. Dead last in the Major League. They nerfy 82% of the time. Tigers come in at 25th, and they're going to get a nerfy 76% of the time. Braxton Garrett, a 1.0 whip, a 247 opponent's batting average. But what we really like is 26 Ks and 19 starts. If he gets in trouble, he's definitely got the ability to strike some people out and get out of a jam. Reese Olson on the mound for the Tigers, 1.43 whip, 286 opponent's batting average. Not sexy at all. But his numbers are really inflated because he's given up 5 runs, with 3 of those 5 runs coming in his last outing against the Padres. Now he gets a Marlins team that's obviously struggling overall in the first inning. They're about league average versus lefties and righties, respectively. I'm going to do the nerf of the day. Marlins, minus 122. Tigers, Marlins. And then looking ahead, fellas, Sunday you get Screwball against Luzardo. Hammer that NRFI if you get a respectable price in Tigers Marlins on Sunday with Screwball and Luzardo on the mound. 7th inning, well, that's where we like to give you our best bet of the day. Maybe the Yankees money line. I'm just kidding. What you got there, Squirrel?
Yeah. I just sent one out that I kind of like as well. But originally, what I had is one that, look, I really am a big, I don't know, what do you call it? Like a advocate, I guess, for trusting your data. If you know your data wins, you should trust that and keep your opinion out of it. I really, I say this is my best bet of the day, and it's funny because, like, in my personal opinion, I think it's too much in terms of juice. But my data grades this one out as really good, and it is a lot of juice. It's a minus 155, and it is the Padres money line at home with Musgrove on the mound. I think it is a bit too much in juice. I don't generally like to play money lines that are, the 155, 160 or up to minus 200. You remember, I think last week I gave out the Mets at minus 200, and that managed to. It did cash by quite a bit too. I think it was like 6-1 if I remember correctly. But you do get a very reliable pitcher in Joe Musgrove with fantastic numbers. He's going against Dane Dunning, who has reliable numbers as well, just not a high strikeout line. You get him at home on a Friday night. All this, I don't know. I mean, it's not like the Padres are number one and they're just murdering everybody, and like this is just something that makes sense. But it's just the best data model play that I have for the day. So.
Okay.
It's that. I just have to trust my numbers.
Gotcha. That's why we put in the work. All right. Like it right there. I'm going to go ahead for best bet of the day. I'm going to declare war, folks. We've got to declare a war. Last time I went up against this guy, I put 6 units on him, and he screwed me. War. I'm coming back, Braxton Garrett. You hear me? Braxton Garrett, under 5.5 Ks plus money over on FanDuel is the best bet today. Braxton Garrett, under 5.5 Ks at plus money. It's cashed in his last 3 starts. It's cashed in 10 of 20 starts overall. And the Tigers, like yesterday, when we talked about Sandoval under 5.5 Ks, which cashed easily, he only had 4 Ks. Their potential there is always to hit left-handers. They hit 259. So, yeah, the potential is always there to hit left-handers. But they also don't strike out at 15.7%. That's why we like Sandoval under 5.5 Ks. Just from a strikeout percentage we like, and then you add on all the potential because they're going up against a left-hander hitting 259. It's like, yeah, you could chase him earlier. And look at what the Marlins did yesterday. Picking up David Robinson, bullpen arm from the Mets. What that shows is they're going to be contenders. They're a half game out of the wild card spot. The Marlins are going for it, adding pieces to their team. If Braxton Garrett runs into trouble, he's going to get the hook and get up out of this game with the Tigers hitting left-handers. Again, they're not striking out. Best bet today, Braxton Garrett, raging war up against you. Under 5.5 Ks plus money. Best bet today. Lock it in, boys. All right, I'd like to give you a parlay today. We call it a double play. What do you got for us today?
Well, I'll probably take my Padres then, because that would be a parlay piece. What do I want to pair with the Padres? Are you taking any heavy favorites?
Me? I thought it was a tough day to maybe pluck out some winners and losers. Obviously, we'll do that in rapid fire. We will tell you who's going to win every game. But
I think the Mets are certainly going to win with Scherzer, and the Nationals bullpen's freaking god awful too. So maybe I'll go Mets Padres.
Mets Padres. I struggled today, to be quite honestly, trying to find 2 teams I thought could get the win. So I found 3 pitchers that can't get the win. How about that? A winning pitcher, no parlay. Mitch Keller, can't ignore those Phillies numbers. They'll get to him over time. Zach Wheeler will silence that Pirates offense that's struggling right around the Mendoza line. So I like Mitch Keller to not be the winning pitcher. Grayson Rodriguez, they're the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, he's also not going to be the winning pitcher. Like the Yankees flat out on the money line. May end up adding that to the card. And then Adrian Hauser. There's a game we have been talked about. You got Chirinos taking on Hauser between the Brewers and the Braves. Adrian Hauser's outline is at 14.5. Dude, not even projected to pitch the minimum amount of outs. to go ahead and be the winning pitcher in this game. He's in for a rough outing against the Braves, boys. Rough one. So, Keller, Rodriguez, and Hauser, winning pitcher, no parlay, comes in at minus 110. Minus 110. All right, let's throw up all these bets up on the screen, then let's talk about everything in rapid fire. We do it. We talk about everything from money line, run line, and over-under perspective. So let's do it. Let's toss my bets here up on the screen, where maybe I do add that Yankees money line. That one looks pretty daggone good. That's how I'm rolling with, boys. Gosman 7+, Wheeler 6+. I told you to shove the pitch. Maybe you just drop them down a number. Garrett under 5.5 Ks. Dunning and Miller, respectively, on their props. Red Sox, Rangers, I'm in on both dogs today. That over in Seattle, Arizona, 9.5, and then the NRFI of the day. One thing we need to talk about before we get to rapid fire, because there's no line. Are you interested in betting Cubs Cardinals? Because I'm interested in either the full game over or Cubs team total. Just need a line to lock in one. Are you in on that game at all?
I don't believe so. Not at the moment.
Okay.
As the day goes on, it's not till 7:15. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get there.
Okay. And the other thing, follow me on Twitter. I'm likely going to add the Rockies F5 team total if and when we get a number. Too good right now versus left-handers, and JP Sears isn't scary at all. So we'll look to do a Rockies F5 team total. If it comes in at 2.5, oh yeah, 3.5, maybe got to consider it. 2.5, I'll be all over it. Let's see what happens. Tigers and Marlins over under of 7.5. Tigers plus 130. Marlins minus 150. Reese Olson up against Braxton Garrett.
Well, you took Garrett under the 4.5 then, yeah?
5.5. Yep.
5.5.
I'm taking
so you
the
expect
over.
him.
Sorry.
You expect him to get hit. Do you see a Tigers win possible then?
Always
not
with
likely?
the left-hander. Always with the left-hander on the mound, you see a Tigers win. I'm going to play the
Since
over.
I
I'm going to play
didn't-
the over, though. I really like what the Marlins are doing. They're going for it, making trades. That tells me they're going to really, if a pitcher is out there, they're going to just go to the hook and get the next guy. They're not going to leave a guy out there. So I like the over.
The line's low enough, that's for sure. 7 or 7.5. I mean, depending on the juice you want to pay. But since I didn't have a long shot, I might take a shot at the Detroit Tigers here just for rapid fire, just for the sake of finding something that is possible to win at plus money, because I'm not on much else today that's not a favorite.
Phillies and Pirates over under of 8.5. Phillies minus 155. Pirates plus 135. I like the under and Phillies money line.
I like Phillies money line and the over. So, well, it just seems, to come down to like how hard is Philadelphia going to tag Mitch Keller and the Pirates.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to get over that 8 or 8.5, it's going to be a large Phillies contribution of 6-7 runs or something, maybe 8. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yankees and Orioles over under of 8.5, minus 125 for the Yankees, plus 105 for the Orioles. I know. I got to price shop this Yankees money line. I don't really want the over under. Just give me the Yankees winning the damn game.
I really like the under because of everything we talked about with the Orioles batting average. It's Garrett Cole on the mound, and the Yankees don't bat too well themselves. I don't know how things are going to change with Aaron Judge. I mean, they're getting their leader back and their captain back, and that has to change the dynamic of a team and make them a little bit more boost in morale, right? You see this in a lot of sports like that, in like hockey as well. If you see a McDavid go out or Nathan McKinnon, the team generally tends to struggle a bit. But I like the under. I like the Yankees.
Angels and Blue Jays over under of 8.5, plus 165 for the Angels. Blue Jays minus 195. I don't think we talked about this game. The only thing that scares me is Giolito. And I don't have any data to back this up. This is just from betting baseball for, dozen plus and watching the game for, let's call it 20 years. When dudes get traded, that first start makes me awfully goddamn nervous. Like, dudes show up in their first start when they're on a new team. That's the only thing that scares me about this game. Otherwise, it'd be Blue Jays easy. Angels bullpen is crap. Giolito scares me. But I'll do Blue Jays for the sake of this. And I'll do under 8.5 if Giolito shoves.
I'll tell you what the Blue Jays bullpen does. They get into the bottom of the 9th inning with a 7-3 lead, and they blow that shit and lose. I'm still pissed from that. I'm still pissed off.
Couldn't tell.
But yeah,
That's all right. You got the Marlin. You got the Nationals the next day to overcome a 4-1 deficit in the bottom of the ninth inning, so it all balances out.
Yeah, I know. But
Still
yeah,
upset.
it's dude. You just don't forget the losses. You just don't.
Right. All right.
Um,
You don't remember the wins because it's like this is why I do all the work. Of course, the bet won. Like I said, it was like what the numbers said. You never remember the wins, the losses for sure. Like,
yeah, or it's because I don't know. It seems like within a week, like that one really great comeback when you had, like if the wins don't overcome the losses of the day, or like I would remember the win. I think if it was like I was 9-0 and this was like my 10th game and it was like a 5-run comeback. Like that would be quite memorable. But
yeah. What about your Nationals and Mets with an over/under of 8.5 plus 160? Nationals Mets coming in at minus 190. I like the over. Scherzer's not that great anymore. I like the over.
Yeah, I like the Mets to win because the Nationals bullpen's so terrible, but I don't know if I trust the offenses to get that many runs, so I would lean the under, but I like the Mets as well.
Guardians and White Sox over/under of 10. I still don't know why I didn't pull a trigger on Guardians, basically even money yesterday.
I just did now at the minus 130. I took it still, so I think it's fine. I still would.
I think I don't know what I was thinking, to be quite honest. It's the Guardians. It's the Guardians today at minus 140. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I just pulled the trigger at 130. You can still get 130. You just have to stop using whatever sportsbook you're using.
Brewers and Braves with an over. You gotta get on over to Bet Openly. That's where you can get the good prices.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, that's for sure. I'm gonna go check. Actually, I need to put it in there too.
Get that Yankees over there. Plus 150 for the Brewers, minus 175 for the Braves with an over/under of 10. I'm doing Braves run line. Braves run line for me.
What's this guy's name? Yanni Chirinos or something?
Good pitcher. Comes over from the Rays. He's good.
So his line was super low. Is he only expected to, maybe go a couple innings or something? Like, is he not expected to go super deep? Because seriously, like his strikeout thing's like freaking 2.5.
I think this is. Let me look. Hold on. I think this is going to be his first start with the. With the Braves. Let me get a look here. I don't know. Does he start with the Braves?
Maybe a short leash or something? Because, I mean, dude, when do you see a 2.5 line on strikeouts?
Yeah, this is his first start. I would just back off him altogether from a props perspective. Are you going to do what the Rays do? And, the Rays will just, throw you like a Chirinos until it's bad, and then they'll hook you. If you go 2 innings or 4 innings, they don't give a shit. They got a great bullpen to back you up. We don't know what the Braves are going to do. Are they going to maybe stretch him out and become a starter? Or is this going to be a glorified bullpen day where this is your long man? Yeah, maybe we'll avoid all props with him, but he should be successful, and then Hauser should just get crushed. I mean, simply put.
Sure. Yep.
Twins and Royals with an over/under of 10, minus 165 for the Twins. Royals coming at plus 140. I'll do Twins run line here, too.
I'm just not convinced. I mean, just off the top of my head, again, this is not like a data model play or anything that I've really dug into. It's just, man, I've seen Sonny Gray. I've seen him live. I've seen him, I know when he gets to like 60 or 70 pitches, it just crumbles. It just doesn't go that well. And then, the bullpen has gotten significantly better than from the beginning of the season when I went to these games and I was watching Sonny Gray pitch. And, hey, good news, we got rid of Jorge Lopez. We traded him away, so that no longer exists in our bullpen, so I don't have to worry about that. But I don't know. I'm not totally convinced that minus 160 is, the right price for the Twins. I think it's just a touch too high. So I'm not saying I want to back the Royals. I just don't know if I'd pay that much for the Twins either.
I'd probably do the over 10 if I was interested as well. Over 10. Rays and Astros with an over/under of 8.5, minus 115 for the Rays. Astros minus 105. Tough one here with the numbers. I just couldn't find an advantage.
Yeah.
I'll just take the home team, I guess, at minus 105, but I don't feel confident.
I like McClanahan a lot as a pitcher, so I don't have any lean. I couldn't recommend to anybody anything in this game because it would just be an absolute force.
Yeah, and that one, that one feels close. That one truly, I mean, it's minus 115 because it's minus 110. It feels
so
like a coin flip,
basically,
and it is.
Go flip a coin, and there's your pick. And good luck.
What about the Athletics taking on the Rockies with an over-under of 11, plus 105 for the Athletics, minus 125 for the Rockies? Do look for me on Twitter, maybe looking to add that Rockies F5 team total. I am going to do over in Rockies money line, minus 125.
My favorite thing here is that JP Sears over 4.5 strikeouts, I think it was. And, within doing props, it's still quite possible to get your shit rocked and still get 6-7 strikeouts, because I've seen it multiple times. I've seen it from Lance Lynn. He's given up 5, 6, 7 runs and still gotten 7 or 8 strikeouts before. It just happened to me the other day. Somebody I bet on, can't remember who exactly it was, but they gave up a grand slam right away in the first inning and still ended up getting 6 or 8 strikeouts or something throughout the game. So I'm not totally scared, because I know that the Rockies are going to strike out. They just will. They do. They're going to. And projection-wise that's my favorite thing in that game.
Like it. Rangers and Padres over-under of 8. I like the over. Straight up, I like the over. Plus 140 for the Rangers. Padres minus 165. We see this game different. Let's move on to the Mariners and Diamondbacks with an over-under of 9. Minus 130 for the Mariners. Diamondbacks plus 110. You like the Mariners at minus 130. I like the over 9.5. So, of course, I like over 9. I think we can roll on to the next game. Reds and Dodgers, over-under of 9.5. Reds plus 195. Dodgers minus 230. I want to be on the over, and I want to be on the Dodgers run line. But if I was bet one, I'd probably just do the over only.
And it makes a lot of sense, and possibly something that the Dodgers can hit on their own, the way that they have been offensively. They've been hitting double digits against better teams than the Reds too. So there you are.
Then the last game, we see that one different. You're on the Giants at minus 140. I'm on the Red Sox at plus 120 with an over-under of 7.5. I don't like totals when I get like that. I don't know. The bullpen,
yeah, I like
really
my Logan
good,
Webb at
really
home.
Good, really good here. Probably under, but I like the Red Sox obviously on the money line from a much better perspective. So that's how we roll there.
All right.
Anything else, Squirrel?
Don't think so. We're rolling into Friday. I might end up at the 3M Open this weekend. It's in Minnesota, so might go watch some PGA golf.
Okay, I'm glad you said PGA golf. I had no idea what you were talking about. It said 3M Open. Thank you.
Yeah,
right,
it's the PGA. Yeah, it's cool because it's a newer tournament and they don't have like total all-stars there. I mean, there's names I know. I just think it'd be cool to go. It's here just to say you went to a PGA event. It's not very often that we get to do that here in the frozen tundra of the north.
Volume up on the TV. I expect to hear some heckling. Give those guys some shit when they miss.
Let's start throwing some acorns at them.
That's right. All right, Squirrel. Appreciate it. Had a great time today previewing today's MLB slate. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll look to do it again Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Good luck with your bets tonight. Enjoy your weekend. We'll catch you next week, fellas.
All right. See you later.